Geraldine Chaplin. O nome Chaplin teria aberto todas as portas, mas a sua carreira, iniciada em 1952, justamente no filme Luzes da Ribalta, interpretado também e dirigido pelo seu pai, Charlie Chaplin, terá sido feita à custa de muito trabalho e do seu talento. O seu talento, aliás, seria consagrado em 1965, ao participar no filme de David Lean, Dr. Zhivago. Hoje, Geraldine Chaplin é um nome muito especial na atual cinematografia mundial. É a altura, pois, de recebermos a nossa convidada especial desta noite, Geraldine Chaplin. Good evening and Merry Christmas.
Feliz Natal e Feliz Aniversário.
Muito obrigado. Muito obrigado. Hoje é dia de Natal, inevitavelmente teríamos de falar do seu pai. Não foi por acaso que escolhemos como tema musical, enquanto descia a escada, o tema do filme Luzes da Ribalta. Eu penso que eu devo dizer-lhe que chorei imenso quando vi este filme. Em relação a este filme, eu penso que é o seu primeiro papel no cinema, não é? Um pequenino papel, mas é o seu primeiro papel no cinema.
Yes, it was. I had a tiny little role in Limelight. I was a little girl at the beginning of the film, and Daddy came along the street and he was very drunk and he tried to get in his door and he couldn't. And I was a little girl with my brother and my sister, and I had one line. I said, "Mrs. Alsop's out." And that was the first time I worked in movies.
Um filme realizado pelo seu pai e interpretado pelo seu pai. Ao que sei, o seu pai não achou muita graça a que tivesse seguido uma carreira artística. Começou pelo balé, foi bailarina, mas o seu pai não achou muita graça. Porquê?
He was against anything that he thought was a capriccio, and he thought that me going into movies was just a capriccio, and he was right. It was a capriccio, and he was right. He disapproved, and he disapproved enormously, and except what he didn't realize is that then I fell in love with movies. I fell in love with acting. I mean, it's become my life, and I love it. And as soon as he knew that, and then he was with me all the way.
Eu penso que ele acompanha a sua carreira com uma grande generosidade, é assim?
Yes, generosity, too much generosity, because when I started making movies, and then he would watch the movie, and I was just hoping for some constructive criticism, something I was saying, "Daddy, okay, what? Now tell me, what did I do wrong? What can I do better?" And all he would say is, he became a father. He wasn't a critic. He said, "You're wonderful. You're the best thing in the movie. You're great. Don't change anything." So I never got any lessons from the greatest director and actor in the world. I never got a lesson from him. He became a father.
E como é que ele era como pai? Como era viver com Charlie Chaplin como pai, ator, realizador? Era difícil?
It was. I hate to tell you, it was not hard at all. It was very, very easy. I mean, all my life, doors have been opened for me. All my life, things have been easier for other people than for other people. When I was a child, in school, I used to pass my exams. I used to make friends with the girl who was the best student in the class. And I used to say, "If you let me copy your Latin exam, I will invite you and you can meet Charlie Chaplin." And so I'd bring home these very strange, diligent girls, and my mother would say to me, "We have strange friends, Geraldine. They're not at all like you." But I passed my exams brilliantly because of my father.
E depois apresentava o seu pai às suas amigas?
Yes, yes. And he thought, well, she has some nice friends. They seem very studious. She's in good.
Falamos sempre do seu pai e quase nunca se fala da sua mãe. Quem era a sua mãe? Que importância teve a sua mãe na sua vida?
Oh, my mother. My mother was the most extraordinary woman in the world. I mean, she really was. I miss her dreadfully. She met my father. She was 17 and he was 53. And they got married. Everyone said, oh, he's a dirty old man and she's a very beautiful but kind of silly teenager. There was no age difference between them mentally. She was extraordinary. She was his most extraordinary critic. Everything that he wrote, he would work and he would write and he would come with this project and he would say, here it is, and she would read it and maybe not like some things. And he would go crazy, he'd slam doors and he'd disappear and he'd change it. He respected her opinion. She was so bright, she was so intelligent. She was, I could talk all night about her. She's my idol. And she died of a broken heart.
Porquê? Why?
She died of a broken heart because they were always equals and everything, and then suddenly, she was 52 years old and he was 88 years old, and he went and died on her, and she could never forgive him of that. And she began to, she went mad. Her heart broke, and she died. She died in 91. She was never happy again. Yet she tried. She was a soldier. She tried. She tried to get another boy. She had another boyfriend. She tried for love again. She tried for her children. She missed him too much.
Quando recentemente participou no filme Chaplin de Sir Richard Attenborough, o que é que sentiu quando viu o seu pai representado por um jovem ator?
Robert Downey Jr. is absolutely extraordinary. I mean, this boy is a genius. Because it's one thing to say, okay, we're going to make a film about Charlie Chaplin. Great, but who plays the part? Anyway, Robert Downey Jr., he's wonderful in the film. The first time I saw him was my first day work. I was playing my father's mother, which was complicated. And it was my first day, so yes, very weird. And I was like this, I was very nervous. And the sun was in my eyes, and I saw this figure and it was Charlie Chaplin, and he turned around, and he looked so like him, and he was nervous. I didn't know how nervous he was. And he came up to me, and they said, this is Geraldine Chaplin who's playing Hannah, and he took me in his arms like this, and suddenly I realized he was shaking, and I was shaking because it was a complete Freudian dream. I was having my father as a young man in my arms. And he said to me, my daughter, no, my mother, no. And then he said, look, let's just go work, okay? Forget, this is too complicated. But he's wonderful. Wonderful.
Bom, em dia de Natal teremos necessariamente de falar de algumas recordações. Recorda os natais passados com a sua mãe e com o seu pai?
Yes, Christmas in our house was always a huge, big affair. And an affair where my father was always more and more depressed. He hated Christmas, he loathed Christmas. And my mother did everything. We would decorate the tree and the presents, and it was such a huge thing. And my father would just sit in the library and get more and more depressed, and finally get a book and read a book. It would usually be The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich by Speer or something like that. I mean, something very depressing book. And he hated it. He died on Christmas. That was a sort of poetic revenge. He finally died. He finally managed. My mother never let him ruin Christmas for us, and he finally did. He finally managed to ruin Christmas for us because he died on Christmas Day.
Por que ele não gostaria de Natal? Teria a ver com recordações da sua infância? Ele teve uma infância difícil, pobre?
Yeah. I'm sure it had to do, because the one thing that he would sometimes say, we'd bring the presents to him and say, Daddy, look, this is for you. And it would be some wonderful thing. He said, I used to get an orange on good years. And I think it was to do with his childhood, and he remembered his mother who was mad, who went mad, and he remembered the terrible, abysmal poverty that they lived in. And I think Christmas is a time when it's a family affair, isn't it? And I guess he remembered his
mother. Como é que passa o seu Natal hoje em dia? Revive algumas dessas recordações? Alguns desses hábitos?
Christmas it's a very sort of schizophrenic affair for me now because I think of my father's death and yet I think of all the joy and my mother ultimately wins because I think we really do have fun at Christmas and in my family we still have a traditional Christmas. Last year there were I think 36 or 37 of us. That was only immediate family. Lots of turkeys, all the traditional things.
Vamos deixar um pouco agora as recordações de Natal, vamos falar um pouco mais da sua carreira. Pronto, já sabemos que o nome Chaplin abriu portas, mas eu sei que a sua carreira, isso é opinião unânime, é feita muito à custa do seu trabalho, do seu talento. É assim?
I wouldn't say I'm my own. No, I love to be Charlie Chaplin's daughter, and I hope I always will be Charlie Chaplin's daughter. You know, when I started out in the movies, everyone on the movie set, there was none of the thing of, she's just here because she's Charlie Chaplin's daughter. Everyone, on the contrary, wanted to love me, wanted me to be good. They say, yeah, that's, because a lot of people had worked with him. So they say, yeah, come on, that's Charlie's daughter. Come on, you show them, you do it. And so I was surrounded in a cocoon of love and of, and I still now.
Quer dizer que beneficia do amor e da dedicação que todo o público, em todo o mundo, devotou sempre ao seu pai.
Yes. The public and the people who worked with him. And now I'm a lot older and now the crews, they're all younger. But the tradition has gone on and everyone knows Chaplin and everyone loves him and everyone admires him. And it's, I would never like to think that I'd done it on my own. I love that shadow.
Falemos um pouco, muito rapidamente, da sua carreira. Este ano que passou foi um ano de muita produção cinematográfica. Fez o filme Chaplin, fez o filme do Scorsese, a grande sensação deste ano. Qual é o próximo?
The next one, let's see, last year I did five films, different, I did the Scorsese, the Chaplin, I did a film in Bolivia with Jorge Sanginés, I did a film in Portugal with Daniel Schmidt in Korea. And I did an English film with Alec Guinness, and then I've just finished a film in Ireland, of Mary Magoukian, a beautiful film, and the next film is going to be with Carlos Saura Jr. Atención, not senior, junior. The son of Carlos Saura, with whom I made.
Sim, seu marido e com quem fez filmes importantíssimos.
Yes, lovely films. We did very nice films together. I think around 7 or 10. Really good films. It was a good production while it lasted. And now, but you think the father's good. Wait till you see the son. I feel like I'm talking about a racehorse. Look at the teeth. The son is very good.
Por vezes as nossas convidadas surpreendem-nos com o conhecimento que têm do cinema português. Eu sei que há um filme que a marcou, um filme português, O Processo do Rei, de João Mário Grilo, que a marcou bastante. Porquê?
I don't know. I saw that film. It's one of the films that I've seen in my whole life, which is a long time, that most marked me. I don't know why. I was so moved by it. It was so shocking and so sober and so unbelievably beautiful and so chaste and yet so outrageous and mad. Extraordinary, extraordinary movie. I mean, it's the only film I've seen of that man, and I would just love to see more films. I am total admiration of him.
Nós começámos esta conversa a falar das suas recordações de infância, de aluna de um colégio. Estava-se a referir ao colégio Mont Olivier, em Lausanne?
Oh, I was at Mont Olivier, yes.
Nós temos uma prenda de Natal para si. Encontramos em Portugal, vive aqui, uma ex-colega sua de carteira.
Paloma Labor.
Foi colega sua durante 3 anos, penso eu, de carteira e mais, foi colega de quarto. Eu gostaria de a apresentar. A dona Ana Maria Cardoso, por favor.
I was looking at her and I thought, I know that face.
Do you remember me?
It's such a long time. I was looking and I thought, I know that face. I know that face.
We tried to get you for Diana's dinner party, you know, because it was her 30th marriage anniversary in Brussels 2 months ago, and we couldn't find you.
Oh, I was
Because
probably off somewhere
Diana
working.
absolutely wanted to have you there. I was the present. You should have been the present.
É espantoso como a reconhece após 30 anos, não se vê há 30
You look
anos.
exactly the same.
I didn't. I saw it and I thought, I know that person.
It was
So great.
You know, when I saw you in Design as well, I cried because, you know, I remembered you in school and you were such a lot of fun. And it was so lovely, and I remembered your sister, I remembered Josephine. And
There was another Portuguese girl that we had at school, Paloma Laborde. Do you
no,
remember?
that one I don't remember. I think it was after me.
She
because
was
I only
before you
stayed-
were born.
I don't think so. I'm quite ancient. I have a daughter with 28, you know.
Ana Maria,
Fala.
eu sei,
Eu
com
falo
certeza
português
vão
consigo,
querer,
tá bem, com
pois,
certeza.
com certeza vão querer conversar um pouco, mas que recordações é que guarda desse tempo? Eu sei que a primeira recordação é justamente da nossa convidada se ter estatelado aos pés da sua mãe, não é?
I don't
Quase.
think you remember. The first day I entered school, we were in the old part of school, the old house, where I slept with you for 3 months in the same dorm.
Yeah.
And you were coming down the stairs. I don't remember how you call that. The thing, the banister. And you
Sliding
fell
down
at-
the banister?
Yes, sliding down. And you fell at my mother's feet.
Oh,
So that's
really?
how I saw you the first time, actually. I don't think you
That wasn't
remember.
me.
It was you now. And I also remember once that Sydney went to pick you up. We were going for lunch, queuing up, and we were absolutely appalled. We thought, fantastic to have this man in school, and you know, it was absolutely beautiful.
It was a good school, though, wasn't it? It was
Yes,
a nice school.
yes, I have very good.
Ana Maria, para si ser colega da filha de Charlie Chaplin era importante? Era algo de fascinante?
Não, era bastante divertido. It was very amusing. You were a very normal person. You were sometimes a clown. You were lots of fun.
Oh,
And you were a friend of Diana, who is my
yes,
best friend.
of course,
So you know,
of course.
I mean, it was just very, very nice.
And you were the prettiest girl in school.
No, I was not.
Yes, you were.
Come
She was
on.
the most beautiful girl in school.
How
We
very
were all-
lovely of
yes.
you to say that.
Well, we all remember that.
Yeah, that's very kind of you.
Como é,
Diana was
como
lovely.
é que ao longo destes anos, 30 anos, tem acompanhado a carreira da sua ex-colega?
Por uma amiga nossa comum, que era a Diana Vanderhoop, que ficou a minha melhor amiga e com a qual eu tenho tido sempre contacto. Nunca perdi o contacto e fala-me sempre da Geraldine porque ela viu-a mais do que eu, porque eu depois vivi na Alemanha, vivi na Suíça durante uns anos, voltei para Portugal, foi a revolução, a minha vida mudou um bocado, portanto perdemos completamente o contacto, nunca mais a vi. I never saw you again. I saw you on films and I heard about you through Diana.
Tem acompanhado a carreira?
Tenho, absolutamente, absolutamente.
É comovente ver a ex-colega?
É comovente e para mim o filme mais comovente dela foi Les uns et les autres.
Ah, Claude Lelouch.
Gostei muito.
Les uns et les autres.
Oh, yes.
There was
I never
ballet,
saw
which
that.
you never saw that film. I'll see it because
I
Jorge Don was absolutely
Oh,
stupendous
so
in the
good.
film, and I absolutely love Béjar. So I also adored ballet. I remember you danced in school.
My sister works with Béjar.
Really? Oh, that's
Sister Anna.
fantastic. Because there was a Portuguese boy who used to be one of his scenarists, Manuel Cortrial, and he died a short time ago. And he was very good.
Geraldine, espero que tenha gostado desta nossa prenda de Natal. E agora, e agora que tal
Obrigada.
brindarmos ao ano de 1994 com um cálice de Porto? O seu pai gostava muito de Porto.
Porto wine. That was my father's favorite drink. And you know, everybody, he used to always ask for port wine in California, which port wine. They say what, and they said no, because Charlie Chaplin loves port wine because it's how very English of him. And Daddy would always correct. He'd say, "How very Portuguese of me."
To you, and all the best. Assim também. Obrigada.
E pronto, ficamos por aqui neste Momentos de Glória. Certamente foi um programa ainda mais especial, porque hoje é dia de Natal, mas o afeto com que o fizemos foi o afeto de sempre. Na próxima semana vamos estar consigo a 31 de dezembro. Quer isto dizer que vamos passar A passagem de ano engasguei-me um pouco com o vinho do Porto, ou um pouco também com a emoção. Queria dizer-vos que vamos passar a passagem de ano consigo. Justamente estaremos aqui com muitas surpresas e com a presença ao vivo de Jô Soares. Teremos uma taça de champanhe guardada para si. Boa noite, boas festas.